Big reach. Hit those changes hard.
I started paddling canoe when I was 13.
Eyes on the flag. There it is. Yeah, Pono.
I have strong focus as we're coming into the turn. I am to just reach way out and get a bite and just kind of hold the canoe and push the water underneath the canoe. So it's a lot of muscle.
Alrighty, now we can be done.
I had spectacular teammates that helped us win the first place in our division in a core canoe. Great way to start a day.
Pono Tuanay is a dedicated veteran on a trophy-winning team.
Hey, Kahi. Hey, Loa. Hey, Colin.
So was her husband, Mark Tuanay. In the 1990s, he was part of an offensive line that was called the Great Wall of Dallas. This Cowboys line paved the way for 3 Hall of Famers and won 3 Super Bowls. The group was so good that they're even talked about to this day.
They used to have Mark Tuanay, Nate Newton, Stepnoski, Kevin Gogan. Then they had Larry Allen in there. But this guy, Eric Williams, he used to scare our players and me. But they would hand the ball to Emmett behind Moose Johnson, and they would grind on you. But that's what the Cowboys were when they were great.
We're coming to get you! You're going to be a football player when you grow up. Today is the best day of your life. Believe it. He might be the finest quarterback produced in the last 10 years. It's a day like that. That's all I need.
Fortunately for me, I didn't lose my life. I didn't lose my job. Football convinced me that life is a team game.
Rest of your life, nobody can ever tell you that you couldn't do it.
The Great Wall was built with unknowns and rejects. The first of them came from Hawaii. Mark Tuanay was a multi-sport star at Punahou High School who gave advice to an underclassman and future president.
Even though Mark ran more with the football crowd, I think Brock looked up to Mark as a basketball player. Mark is an imposing figure. I'm sure he set some very large picks for the president.
Tuanay grew up in Nanakuli, a rugged West Shore town full of gangs, poverty, and crime.
You know, Mark first had a little bit of trouble with what we call in Hawaiian kolohe, is a rascal. Before graduation, he got in trouble and got tossed in high school.
His troubles continued in college. He was expelled from UCLA for fighting, and later suspended at the University of Hawaii.
Mike went to Waikiki apparently and got involved and beat up a tourist and robbed him. And the judge sentenced to Mark 3 months in a correctional facility.
After his senior year, Tuanay became a Cowboys free agent. He wore number 71 and was a defensive tackle. A long shot to make the team, buried on the depth chart behind All-Pro Randy White. Like Tuanay, the other members of the Wall had their flaws. Nate Newton was overweight. Before he came to Dallas, Newton was cut by the Redskins in 1983 and then spent 2 lost years in the USFL. Mark Stepnoski was undersized, a third-round guard out of Pittsburgh who would have to move to center in the NFL.
You know, we called him Dalton from that old Roadhouse movie with Patrick Swayze because, you know, they go, the fight was starting, and they say, oh, we thought you'd be bigger, you know.
John Giesick was unwanted. discarded by the Raiders in exchange for a mere fifth-round pick.
He started a heck of a lot of games in those Super Bowl championship teams, and wasn't the life of the party. He just, there was only so many comedians to go around. He was one of the straight men in that group.
Kevin Gogan was undisciplined. A seventh-round pick from the University of Washington, determined to make the team by whatever means necessary.
I'd play beyond the whistle. I would go after you. I would try to fight you. I would get underneath your skin because I didn't have the talent of some of these other guys.
Eric Williams was an unknown, a high school defensive lineman who grew up on the streets of Philadelphia and idolized Reggie White. Unlike White, he didn't receive a single Division I offer, ending up at tiny Central State in Wilberforce, Ohio.
He realized he could put a lot of the problems that he had that made him go to Wilberforce behind him by succeeding with this group. I think it was another second chance thing for Eric.
The Great Wall of Dallas. None was drafted higher than the third round. Not one is in the Hall of Fame. Talented, but troubled. Theirs was a football life journey, unlike any other.
This is a motley crew on paper. Nate Newton is a freaking fat slob. He's not your vision of what you want. Mark Stepnoski is nobody's vision of a great NFL center on paper. I don't think anyone would say Kevin Gogan was the most skilled offensive lineman in NFL history, even probably in the top half, but you wouldn't want to play against him if you enjoy your fingers. Eric Williams, he really got soaked up in the Dallas nightlife. He could have been the best. Mark Tuinei, people really loved him, could never fully escape his own demons. But when you put them together, and you put them on the biggest stage in football, they were just perfect. The right unit at the right time for the right team.
Hi, I'm Nate Newton, offensive guard for the Dallas Cowboys. My claim to fame, that's a lot of damn jelly. One more time.
Nate Newton has always been big.
Yeah, I was that small when I was probably about 6 months old.
And food was never far from his mind.
Every day is a holiday and every meal's a banquet, baby. Jay, can we fix up a Newton special, man? You bet.
Early in his career, he spent so much time at a local deli, they named 3 sandwiches after him.
Emmy may be a Russian leader, but I'm the eating leader.
When I first got to the Cowboys, Tex Ram told me, don't waste another day on him. He has eaten himself out of a job in the NFL.
Nate Newton was described as a little bit overweight, but he wasn't a little bit overweight. He was a lot overweight. And if the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys can outrun you, you need to get in shape.
Because I can't keep paying fine money to the Cowboys forever. I think I could have funded a third world country with all that money I lost, brother. I promise you.
He was big, and he didn't always look like the fittest guy. But, if you saw Nate Newton come off the ball, you saw the defensive lineman go the other way.
Then when I was coaching the Raiders, I'll never forget Nate Newton coming off, hitting one of our linebackers, and just, oh my gosh. And Al Davis looked over to Jimmy Johnson and said, "Who's your left guard?"
They had an assistant equipment manager named Jerry Fowler who said, if William Perry is the fridge, this guy's got to be the kitchen.
The kitchen, what a nickname, the kitchen.
But that's what made me, brother. That's what made me who I was, the kitchen.
And then John Madden discovered him, and then he was a celebrity.
My man Nate gets a little run at him. Anytime Nate puts that 330 pounds on you, you're going to go backwards.
He loved the fact that Nate Newton was a fat guy.
Just get behind Nate. He just blots out half the field.
Yeah. He loved the fact that by the middle of the first quarter, he had a big sweat stain going down the back of his rear end.
That's Big Nate, right there. Boom. Where Nate just took his guy and just boom, just put him right on the ground. They go, Nate, you see Nate Newton? Here's Big Nate right here.
John Madden's to blame.
And then the minute it's over, you got to pull the pants up. You always block, and then you pull up your pants.
But the outward persona of the jovial fat man hid the darker side of Newton's youth. Those who knew him at Florida A&M remember the bully more than the belly.
Just eviscerated people with that mouth of his.
I could just see you walk out of the lunchroom and within 10 seconds, I done read you. And I'm all over you.
Talked about your hair, talked about your clothes. He was just relentless.
Out of all the things in life I've done, that's one of the few things I would try to take back. Because the way I treated people wasn't right.
Newton's long road to the NFL humbled him. In 1989, it was his quick feet rather than his sharp wit that caught the eye of new coach Jimmy Johnson.
All right, Nate, good quickness there. Good quickness. All right, let's go offensive line. Knock their ass back.
Like Newton, Mark Tuinei impressed the new staff with his athleticism. He had already made the radical move from defense to offensive line. Now, it was up to him to guard the blind side of the team's new franchise quarterback.
He switches over and it just works. His anger works, his physicality works.
You couldn't move Mark. I mean, he was like a block of granite out there.
Great block by Tuinei. Troy Aikman is going to have a clean jersey today.
If you ever had to be in a dark alley and needed to get out of it, Tui would be the guy you would want on your side.
How about that step? That barber still didn't find you, huh?
Rookie Mark Stepnoski was the line's free spirit. He'd have to get by on smarts and guile.
He was giving up 50 to 75 pounds on a weekly basis. He was from the University of Pittsburgh, Pitt, and Tui dubbed him Pitt for perfect and total technique.
Everything about that guy was positioning, leverage. He was almost more like a wrestler. He'll take a guy, Jerome Brown or Reggie White, and just shift.
Watch him push Reggie White right out of the hole.
Move, shift. Move, shift. That guy was a freaking ballerina.
A ballerina with heavy metal hair who danced to the beat of his own drummer.
I'd like to be here for this one. Well, I am here for this one, kind of.
It's hard to keep up with him. We'd get into politics a little bit or some kind of a conspiracy theory. He was a little bit mad at the world, but that was Step.
What's up, Mark Stepnoski?
Mark worked as hard as anybody, if not harder, in the weight room and on the field. But when he left the field, he wasn't about football. He'd not wearing a Dallas Cowboys shirt to the mall.
Along with Kevin Gogan, number 66, 4 pieces of the Great Wall were in place. They would all become Pro Bowlers, but not right away. The 1989 Cowboys went 1-15.
Did you see Aikman in '89? I mean, he was a special talent. We all knew that, but not laying on his back.
Help arrived in 1990, running back Emmitt Smith in the draft, and guard John Giesick via trade. Eric Williams arrived a year later, expected to make the enormous leap from NAIA tackle to NFL starter.
It's going to be tough, but I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
In 1991, Williams and his line mates showed flashes of what they would become, but true greatness was a year away.
As we see in the NFL, it takes a line a while to start playing together. I think we thought we were pretty good in '91, and then we played Philly.
He's under a rush, gets away from one man, but not Clyde Simmons. Comes away from one man, and they get him again. He's setting up, and he's sacked again. They've got him.
We gave up them 11 sacks, man. He took every one of them.
You see the guy go by, and you're like, throw the ball!
They are making mincemeat of the Dallas offensive line.
It was a beating, there's no question. And there were a number of hits other than the sacks.
And you kind of look, because you don't know who guys hit him, and everybody kind of got their head down. It wasn't
And it was that look of total disgust at us, you know, and it's like, oh, man.
We were so bad. Troy took so many hits because of us. You just thought the world was coming to an end.
And that was pretty much the last time that happened.
Coming up.
That wall. When they get you going full speed head on, you had free time at the hospital.
Hey, Nate.
How you doing? How you doing?
I swear, there's something different this year. You're faster, you're stronger. What'd you do?
I think it's the extra weight I lost, boss.
Oh, yeah. I see it. Sure. Oh!
Jerry Jones was right. Something was different about the Great Wall in 1992.
The surge at the snap was just so violent and so much more aggressive.
Think about how big our Great Wall was and how small I was. I could hide. I can get lost behind Nate. And once they got their hands on him, it was a wrap.
The Cowboys only lost 3 games that season, and Emmitt Smith led the league in rushing.
He's got the touchdown!
America's team was back on top, and everyone, from a Saudi prince to Gary Busey, wanted to be a part of it.
You need to come next week. Gary just kind of popped up, showing up in the locker room and sidelines, and he's an interesting character.
Yay, all of them. God bless all those gentlemen. They enjoyed what I did on the screen. I enjoyed what they did on the field, so that was compatible.
And back then, he was one of the main boys. You know, every time you saw a film, he was in it somewhere or another. And I'd just be amazed that he would know us.
Nate Newton used to grab me and lift me up off my feet, run me back, and smash me into a wall and say, "Welcome to the NFL." I said, "Thank you. I'm glad to be here."
They came for the triplets, Aikman, Irvin, and Smith. But it was hard to miss the Great Wall.
This offensive line of the Cowboys is manhandling that 49er defensive line.
Where would Emmitt Smith be without the lanes those guys created? Where would Troy Aikman be without the time these guys gave him? And where would Michael be without those guys giving him enough time to get open?
Look at the time Troy Aikman has to do that.
These guys would just blow people out of the way. You watch Emmitt Smith run the football, people wouldn't touch him till he was 5-6 yards down the field.
Literally part of the Red Sea.
I always find his clips, for the most part, kind of boring. They're all really smooth. He's largely untouched. I think, wow, that 25-yard game, that's a thing of beauty. But to me, the thing of beauty isn't Emmitt Smith running the football. It's that big hole that's opened up in front of him.
What do you see? You saw the dash. Did you see the dash? Did I see it?
People dreaded to see that front. Those are players that, on the other side of the ball, when you show up in Cowboys Stadium, or we show up at your stadium, you dreaming about them all week.
That's football right there. Running the mother ball.
They played with an attitude rarely seen on the offensive side of the ball. An aggression inspired by right tackle Eric Williams, the youngest and most terrifying of the bunch.
Whoa. When he looked at me, I froze like a pillar of salt that Lot's wife did in the Old Testament. Don't look back. Well, she did. Oh, boom. That was Sodom and Gomorrah.
Let's go! Let's go!
Eric was from the streets of Philadelphia, and he was a boxer when he was young, and he had a boxer's mentality.
He just hits those guys with those fists, and they go sideways all the time.
He had a club move. He had a headbutt move. Just flat out mean.
He wasn't interested in just winning on the play and blocking his guy. He absolutely wanted to demoralize him.
Will somebody calm him down?
And I never saw anybody take Reggie White and throw him 5 yards back and put him on his back.
Reggie White's arguably the greatest defensive lineman ever to play. And Big E played against him when he was in Philadelphia and then in Green Bay. And Big E always held his own and sometimes even broke Reggie White's will.
Behind the scenes, the wall was more playful, led by the likes of Kevin Gogan and Mark Tuinei.
And here's Mark. After the divisional round, when San Francisco won, Jesse Sapolo said, "That's right, the road to the Super Bowl goes through Candlestick Park."
The road to Pasadena comes through Candlestick now, baby.
And we beat San Francisco.
Touchdown! Touchdown, Cowboys!
You're going to your first Super Bowl. You're achieving a childhood dream. Amid all of that, Mark Tuinei walks up to Jesse Sapolo and says, "Hey, Jesse, thanks for the directions." Afterwards, I'm like, "You're unbelievable. You thought about that before the game, didn't you?"
After their upset in San Francisco, this ragtag bunch of free agents and low draft picks found themselves on the NFL's biggest stage.
This is excellent blocking by the offensive line, pushing Bruce Smith around. They can just wear down the Buffalo defense.
The young Cowboys simply overwhelmed the Bills en route to a 52-17 victory.
And they'll go behind 2-8. Draw to Smith. And he's in. What a run. Oh, my.
Wow. What a ride it's been. And Dallas, your Cowboys are champions.
Feels good, man. Man, we number one. We play hard. We prepare hard. A lot of people wonder why we hit the way we hit. That's why.
Coming up.
If you can get away with it, you don't think you're gonna try? I thought I was bulletproof.
Boy Scouts of America, baby.
Kevin Gogan back with you with Danger Aaron here.
Danger Aaron, he went for it. It was one of those jackass guys.
Area number one, you want to work the groin area. Hits to the nuts, hits to the groin, very painful.
I'm gonna ragdoll this kid all over the field. Why not? You know, I mean, he asked for it.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Gogan became a starter in 1993. Soon, he earned the nickname Big Nasty.
Colgan, he says what he's thankful for is being able to beat up somebody every Sunday and not go to jail for it.
It doesn't bother me one bit if somebody thinks I'm cheap. What you think cheap, I call playing through the whistle. It's a battle. It's a punching match. You could bring the same attitude I bring. That's your choice. If we're talking about a straight fight, then we're going to fight. That's fine.
Look at Gogan there. He's going in a stand.
If you want to, you know, be an ass and be a jerk, I'm going to you up, man.
He was always like my personal protector. If there's anything wrong with me, he was over there and he was fighting guys, which I certainly appreciated, but he sees me kind of trying to straighten this finger out, and he comes running over and says, "Hey, you want me to straighten it?" I said, "Sure." So I stuck my finger out, which wasn't bright on my part, and he yanked it like a water hose, and I think he enjoyed it. I had to have the finger completely reconstructed, and it probably wouldn't have been that bad had I not let him get a hold of it.
An injured pinky is one thing. The loss of All-Pro Mark Stepnoski late in the '93 season was more serious.
Jimmy approached me and said, "You played center before, haven't you?" I said, "Well, I kind of slid a little bit at the Raiders early on," but he said, "Well, start taking some snaps."
He is an anonymous member. He's a silent assassin. Whenever the number was called, he knew exactly what to do.
In the '93 playoffs, John Giesick held his own. Big E dominated Reggie White again. the NFC Championship game, Dallas beat the 49ers easily. But in the rematch with Buffalo in Super Bowl 28, the Cowboys were losing at halftime.
They needed to get fed. They were starting to get frustrated and really angry, and time to kind of put the ball in their hands, so to speak, and see what they were capable of doing.
And what they could do was, for a half of football, they could say, we will decide. We will decide.
And so the way you do that, you don't do it by finesse. You do that by power.
And the first play that they call is a power.
Here we go now, here we go. Let's go jack right, power right, on one.
And we go downhill.
Starts from the Dallas 36, and here comes Evan, ripping through 10 yards of the play.
Next play, another power.
High right, zip, power right.
Hit it.
It's like a different back in the second half. There's carrying tacklers for 8 more.
Call the power again.
And he gets it again. Breaks a tackle. First down. He's to the Buffalo 36-yard line.
They kept calling the power play for 6 straight plays.
They were 22. First down all the way to the 23-yard line.
You know, we talk a lot about imposing your will, breaking their will. I don't know that there's ever been a drive that I've seen that represented that better in that Super Bowl against Buffalo.
Smith for 9, Smith for 3, Smith for 8, Smith for 7. Smith again inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
And a steady stream of Buffalo Bill defenders to the sideline. That offensive line has basically worn out the Buffalo defensive line.
You could see their spirit just leave. And there was nothing they could do.
Draw to Smith, tackled but breaks away to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Emmitt Smith.
That right there was a defining moment in that Super Bowl. I mean, you could see Buffalo just saying, looking in themselves in the face like, man, what just happened?
Behind their great wall, they had defended their crown.
Well, guess what? Dallas, your Cowboys are still champions.
Hell yeah!
That offseason, Dallas faced a new foe, free agency. John Giesick headed to Washington. Kevin Gogan left for the Raiders.
I wish Troy can throw some of his money at him. No, just kidding. To keep him around, but no.
Ultimately, Jimmy Johnson and his watchful eye were gone too.
I would talk to our team every single Friday. And I said, I want you to be in a bed. I don't care whose bed it is, but be in a bed. I don't want you to be on the streets. And don't ever, let me hear about you being in some strip club 2 nights before the game.
Yep. That is the local strip joint that the fellas will be going to. Thank you. We love those strip joints.
They ran wild. There were arrests for dogfighting, DUIs, and assaults.
These guys did get caught up in the celebrity and the spotlight. They drove too fast, they drank too fast. These guys got caught up in lifestyle. But the thing I always say to people, they're 27, 28 years old, and now they're being handed millions of dollars. Sometimes I kind of feel like, what do you expect?
And for the second time this year, trouble in his personal life has managed to overshadow the remarkable successes of Williams' career.
Eventually, one member of the Great Wall actually hit a wall.
Their thoughts were with teammate Eric Williams, who was injured during an early morning one-car accident. Emmitt Smith was among those at the scene.
Wow. Is he all right? And he was talking to see it cut all up.
And I remember holding his head in my hand, and he was bleeding everywhere, blood was bad. And I just kept saying, E. I just wanted to keep him awake.
It was a wake-up call for a lot of us. And all we can do is just think about him.
Without Eric Williams, the Cowboys lost in the '94 NFC Championship game.
You know, we were on the verge of doing something that had never been done before, which was winning 3 Super Bowls in 3 consecutive years. And I bet you to this day, he probably feels that he plays a large role in the fact that we never made that a reality.
Mark Stepnoski was lost to free agency after the season. With their anchor gone and Williams' career in doubt, the Great Wall was beginning to crack.
I don't suppose you know anything about this scratch on my car.
Mark Tuinei never got to play the leading role.
Hey, bro, I'd bust your chops for making eyes at my girl, but I'd never do that.
You didn't see anything?
Sorry, bro. It was a nice car.
He did stand out when driving his prized '33 Ford, but usually he stayed in the background. Despite dominating the NFL's best pass rushers, it took him 12 years to make the Pro Bowl.
There's a guy who goes unnoticed and who does a really good job, Mark Tuinei.
You talk about a guy who's maybe underrated, maybe even underappreciated.
So you've been in the league 13 years, huh?
Yeah.
How much longer do you want to stay?
Well, as long as I can keep going, as long as I got someone like you to keep me together.
All right.
He was very humble and quiet. He had to warm up to you before he was gonna really show you his cards. He was a great uncle. When they were little, I can see them still to this day. It was always fun for him to have the kids. I used to refer to him as the human jungle gym. If any of his friends were in a bind, no questions asked, he would be there.
The big question in 1995 was whether or not Eric Williams would ever be the same after his near-fatal car wreck.
Eric's whole mindset was, I'm going to be on the field when we open the season next year. Strahan told me one time, he said, we lined up for that first play, and he said, hey, Michael, I'm back, and I'm going to kick your ass. And he said, and if I can't, this guy next to me will, and it was Larry Allen.
The handoff goes to Emmitt Smith, his first run, 45-50. He's going to score! Touchdown, Cowboys! A 60-yard ramble by Emmitt Smith.
Massive Larry Allen was the new starter at guard. Lightweight Mark Stepnoski was gone. This Cowboy line was now pure Texas beef.
Anywhere you go on that Cowboy line, you're going to be in behind, 330 or 340 pounds a guy.
Every one of them.
In the playoffs, Eric Williams' sheer nastiness more than made up for the lingering effects from his accident.
Number 79 started about 3 fights. Reggie White's been mad at him, wanted a penalty against him. We saw Gilbert Brown mad at him. John Yurkovich has left the game because of Eric Williams.
One more score, baby! One more score! One more score! Handoff, Emmitt Smith at the 15. Oh, look at that hole! To the 10, he'll score! Emmitt Smith dances to the end zone!
The Steelers and the Cowboys in Arizona for Super Bowl 30.
That's all I keep hearing is they got their mind on the game and we don't. But every time I go to the club, they're in the club with me. And I love these guys. They're going to have fun, and they're not going to talk about it. We're going to have fun, and we're going to talk about it.
Against the Steelers in Super Bowl 30, the Great Wall stood tall once again. Dallas won its 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years.
2nd and goal from the 4. Handoff, Emmitt Smith on the right-hand side. Touchdown! Emmitt Smith scores!
And Dallas, your Cowboys are world champions again.
For the Dallas dynasty and the remaining members of the Wall, it was the end of the line. Soon there was a new challenge. Life after football. No more roar of the crowd. No more stardom. No more spotlight.
You step out the door, you gone. And it don't take months and years for people to forget about you. You gone, you are replaced, and you are forgotten about. If you don't find that harmony real quick, or that peace real quick, you're gonna go through some things, especially when you as high strung as we were.
Today, the 40-year-old former lineman was sentenced to 30 months behind bars on federal drug trafficking charges.
Nathaniel.
At the time of his arrest, Newton was free on bail from a drug bust in Louisiana.
You get busted once. Yeah. Stupid. You get busted twice. It made you feel like you didn't know him.
I just threw it all away because I wanted to be selfish. Man, when I looked at my kid and he said, "Dad, you coming to my football game?" I'm like, whoa. I said, nah, you won't be seeing Daddy for a long time.
He's a better person for it. He kind of thinks things through now, and he even looks back and said, that was really dumb. But, you know, you never know what drives us at a certain point. The main thing is that we make the corrections and we go forward and try to be a better person.
My name is Nathaniel Newton Jr. They call me Nate Newton. I done did it all. Blew millions of dollars, made millions of dollars.
He screwed up big, and he paid for it. And now he's trying to move on, and we should let him.
Don't build relationships that don't benefit you. You'll lose it all, man.
When we return, there would be no life after football for one member of the Great Wall.
Hello, Big Newt. I'm at your front gate. I need to get me some coffee, boy.
Former Dallas Cowboy Deion Sanders hasn't seen his good friend and former teammate Nate Newton in 6 months.
How you doing, man?
No! I ain't recognize him. I went out there and say, who is this? Chappelle? Chris Rock? Who is this, man? It was Nate. Dog!
In February, Newton underwent a relatively new type of obesity surgery called gastric sleeve.
I felt that if I wouldn't have did something right then, within 6 to 7 months to a year, I was gonna die. Because I was like 411 pounds.
I can't run. Ain't no running.
I used to have to kind of rock myself up. Like, you know, trying to get out of bed, you rock yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Now I can just get up out of bed. He took all my fat joke material from me. He's little Nate now. But I'm proud of him.
For Nate Newton and the other members of the Great Wall, much has changed since the early 90s.
Man, boy, I remember this used to be a place I can come hide and eat a whole lot of food. Man, I see y'all still got my sandwich on here, man, in Newton Ultimate, huh?
That's right.
Yeah, man, but I don't think I can put that away now, man. Not anymore.
Jack, it's all green today. The market's finally catching up.
John Giesick is slimmer now too, but his profile is larger. After retiring in 1995, he went into real estate and financial planning.
Big Nate!
What's up, man? The mayor of Compel, man.
Looks great, man.
The mayor of Compel just showed up.
Look at you. You lost all that weight.
Cosmetic surgery does wonders, bro. Brother, you want to try to go up on there and reminisce and see how many players you remember? I want to check your memory, man. 1992 Cowboys, man. Yeah, man, I ain't know we was side by side, Geese.
Yes, we are.
We were a cast of characters now, because they go Eric Williams, the heart and soul of the offensive line.
Eric Williams' career ended in Baltimore in 2001. He is now the CEO of the World Champion Sports Group.
If Eric Williams doesn't have that car accident, he's in the Hall of Fame 5 years after he retires. He was the greatest lineman I'd ever seen when he was healthy.
They go, Mr. Consistency right there.
Mark Stepnoski, a 5-time Pro Bowler, finished his career back in Dallas. After retiring in 2001, he became the president of a local chapter of Normal, an organization in favor of legalizing marijuana.
He went toe-to-toe with O'Reilly on the O'Reilly factor.
Well, initially, we would like to see the possession of small amounts of marijuana decriminalized, and ultimately our goal is legalization.
I'll say this about Mark. There's a lot of people that say, I don't like the politics in this country. A lot of people's response is, well, then move. And they won't. Well, Mark did. You know, he's up in Canada.
Yay, Canada. And yay for Normal. I'm with you, Mark, on that one.
That's Kevin Gogan.
Gogs sitting in the back of the room.
After the Cowboys, Kevin Gogan played the bad cop for 4 other teams. In 1998, he was voted the game's dirtiest player and managed to get kicked out of a Pro Bowl.
Whoa, look at that right hand by Neil Smith to the back of Kevin Gogan. And now both Gogan and Neil Smith are ejected. I don't think I've ever seen that in Pro Bowl.
Everybody laughed. Everybody got a kick out of it. Nobody was surprised.
I'm going to assume that that was a retaliatory blow.
So much for the aloha spirit.
I really did want a piece of him because I didn't like him, and I sure didn't like a guy that had a Band-Aid on his nose. I wasn't down with that, you know.
And there's Kevin Gogan wanting to continue with Neil Smith.
I remember shaking my head and thinking, that's Gogs. That is Kevin Gogan.
Oh, yeah.
You don't think I did that on purpose?
Today, Gogan lives in a Seattle suburb with his wife and 3 kids. The game's signature tough guy turned family man.
That's what I'm talking about. For once, you listen to coaching.
That's me. Notice all of these guys, man, they sucking in their guts. I didn't have to suck in my gut. I just stayed natural.
Nate Newton has lost the girth, but not the mirth. Not surprisingly, he found a job in front of a microphone. Around Dallas, there are constant reminders of how far he's come.
I mean, from being fat to going to jail to changing your life around. I'm telling this story and hoping that nobody go down this road.
I'm extremely proud of him. I pull for him. And the transformation, I think, is real because he knows he let a lot of people down.
It took me a while to transition back into the real world, you know. And it seemed like our boy Tua just didn't quite get there, man.
He didn't. It just seemed like he was searching for that next thing.
After a team record 15 seasons, Mark Tuinei retired in 1997.
He had plans to coach at Puno, giving back to the kids, and he was going to be Mr. Mom. We were going to continue our efforts to have a family. It was pretty exciting, very exciting.
Mark, you know, he came out here to see me at my place. Always bothered me that I mean, you had no way of knowing what was on his mind because, you know, Mark wasn't somebody to share all his thoughts, but had I known he was having some problems, I could have maybe handled that visit that day a little differently.
Officers arrived to find Mark Tuinei unconscious in the Plano Fire Department performing CPR. Mr. Tuinei was transported to the medical center of Plano, where he was pronounced deceased.
Tuinei was found in his beloved antique Ford. The cause of his death was determined to be an accidental drug overdose.
That's not the guy that we knew. And we sat at my house after his services, trying to put the pieces together and find out how we got to that point that day.
He was gone now, and all I can do was hold on to the memories. And I see his face right now as we speak, just smiling at me. Lil E, calling me Lil E.
My kids lost out. That's what burns me the most. My kids lost out and knowing them. Not easy to talk about. Pono, I got through it for her, but it was definitely hard.
Kept me in shock for many years. It's been 14 years, and I'm just coming around the corner, just coming out. But now that you are gone, I feel his presence all the time, and I'm gonna go forward with my life. I love you with a grateful heart.
When it came down to the third and fourth quarters, my offensive lineman knew what was about to go down. And right now, I would like to thank them. John Giesick, Kevin Gogan, Eric Williams, Nate Newton, Mark Stepnoski, and the late Mark Tournay. Pono, I see you, love. Thank you for blessing me with the running lanes you created. You were the very best I ever ran behind.
In the end, these linemen led fascinating football lives, full of turmoil and triumph. They were a great wall, whose like will never be seen again.
I measure men on distance traveled. They started way, way back, but they raised themselves. They raised themselves up to be one of the top offensive line to play the game.
Out there on the edge and celebrating and winning, but yet it was always like right around the corner, danger was lurking. We had some great moments, but we had some troubled moments too.
Emmitt Smith is the all-time leading rusher. Troy Aikman is in the Hall of Fame. Michael Irvin is in the Hall of Fame. And just take a wild guess at where this all started. I mean, still to this day, they talk about that offensive line that I had. I mean, when you talk about swag, it wasn't a pretend swag. It was a for real swag. They have never seen an offensive line like that.
This line was the best example of what 5 men, 6 men working together can accomplish in the NFL. You can win it all.
There was a perfect storm where they were together for 4 or 5 years where it was just a thing of beauty to watch on the field. They were a great line and a great wall. One of the greatest offensive lines ever.